Alright everyone, welcome to another video. This time I'm doing another PvP video. This time I'm doing it with a new deck I've built. This is basically a fire burn deck. All the creatures are fire, and it's all this basically the idea is just kind of burn your opponent out. But burn is basically direct damage, without having to attack. I'm gonna go over the deck really quickly, and then I'll get into a couple ultra rare, and it's a prismatic rare, so that's cool. Having the deck wants as many fire monsters as it can get. 1600 level 3. Whenever he destroys a battle, he weakens a monster, and he can flip to make everybody discard a card. And the next guy is Iron Blacksmith. This is also not really, doesn't do any burn damage, but which really run 2 equip cards, run 2 of these and 2 equip cards. But getting Black Pendant is pretty useful, and getting the silver and getting the shooting star bow can also be useful if we need to lower our opponent or we need to get a little bit of damage. So yeah, basically the idea for running these is you can get, and right now there's just not a whole lot of good, decent fire creatures, or at least not a lot that I have. This guy is basically, most of the time he's probably just gonna die, and we can remove him from our graveyard. But if he does get to go off, if you get to flip him on, and he gets to survive, he does some pretty solid damage, and it's basically in-game damage. You're gonna want to use this guy at the end of the game. And this guy is one of our main ways of burning our opponent through monsters. You contribute another fire monster you control to inflict 100 points of damage for each fire monster in your graveyard. So the more monsters you have in your graveyard, the later in the game it is, the better this card is. And then this guy is our other main source of burn for creatures. Blast. Yeah. Whenever this card, if any spell or trap card is or chain, inflict 500 points of damage. So this guy can be really good. And what chain means is when you use a card to your opponent's cards. So we try to go for traps, and we try to go mostly for traps that can be chained. That way your opponent goes to play, I don't know, say your opponent goes to play Monster Run, which is on this game. You can use Jar Greed in response, and then you could chain it. And that, because we're using Ultion, which his main ability is to do damage every time you play a trap card, damage, which adds up. Next up we have Black Pendant. The equipped monster gains 500, and then when it dies, you do 500 damage. So it does damage when it goes to the graveyard, and plus you get to boost the creature. It's a solid. Star bow. It lets your opponent attack directly. Lets you attack directly. Plus you can put it on opponent's monster to make them weaker. That's usually what I end up using it for. But every once in a while, if I need to just inflict 500 points of damage, I can put it on one of these guys. Because I really don't have any big creatures, so it's not the most effective. Master DISPEL. This is really good if you're playing against Wonder Balloons out, or if they have I think that's continuous. This is really good to play against them because they take 500 damage every turn. It might be dead half the games, but if it is, it is. Blast held by Tribute, another card that could possibly be dead draw sometimes, but when it does go off, it's amazing. If an opponent attacks with a monster that's been Tribute, and not just that turn, but if it's ever been Tribute. Every monster that got tribute, you can kill it using this card. Plus, you inflict 1,000 points of damage. So this card can wipe the board, and it does golden apples. Apples is basically, it counts as a trap, so it counts towards our different triggers. Plus, it basically keeps it alive. When we take a bunch of damage, when we use this, we gain that life back, and we put a creature token into play. So that's good. Jar Greed, it lets us draw a card. It's very easily chainable, and it counts as a trap card. It's usually not that great of a card, but I like it in this deck. Then we have Attack and Receive. This is kind of the bread and butter of a lot of our burn damage free traps. Because when you play this card, the first time you play this card, it does 900 damage because of the chain reaction trigger. The next time you play it, it does 1500. Yeah, so it's just a solid card. And the longer the game goes, the more powerful it's gonna be. Then we have one of these. It's really not that great. It just lets us gain a little bit of life. That was something else with another trap, but I just couldn't think of another trap that was really decent at the time that I had. So that's the basis of the deck. It's basically just there to try to burn your opponent out. The creatures aren't really that strong, so a lot of times they're going to lose in combat. But that's okay because you're not trying to win that combat, you're trying to win it burn.